This little boy can actually change money, while at the cash machine, operating as efficiently as a fierce tiger. He increased the money on his father's card directly by 1,000 times, and his dad immediately became a very rich man. His dad took him to withdraw money. The ATM showed that the balance was insufficient. The boy said, "Let me try." He randomly pressed the buttons on the ATM machine and hacked its system. Then he entered $100 and withdrew $100. Dad was a bit confused and made the boy check the bank balance and went to the car. As he looked at the balance, he thought his dad was too poor, as he only had $1,426.37. We see the boy do it again. Good boy. It became $14,263.70. That's a tenfold increase. The father urged the boy to get in the car. The boy asked his father to wait a minute and started doing it again. Wow, the money doubled again. It's up to $142,637. And that's when the dad calls again.
Daryl, come on, let's go!
The boy speeds up his hand and does his process again. We look at the balance again. It's now $1,426,370. That's awesome. It's doubled 10 times again. The balance has doubled 1,000 times in total. In less than a minute, his family has become millionaires. If it wasn't for his dad's urgency, he could have doubled it again. This 11-year-old boy is named Daryl. He's an absolute genius. As soon as he transferred to his new school, something happened. I've never seen such an asshole in a classroom. The students called him Dynamite because he explodes at the slightest touch. Even if it's a female student, he does not hesitate to scold them every chance he gets. This day, the class had just finished the midterm exam. The class teacher was scolding a girl again. The reason was that he suspected the girl of cheating, but the girl did not admit it. When the girl returned to her seat, she threw a wink at Daryl. He also had a big heart. The class teacher asked the students to exchange test papers in order for desk mates to help each other correct the answers of the test paper, but Daryl began to write furiously on the paper. The class teacher looked at him and exploded. "I haven't given the answers yet. What are you writing on the paper?" And Daryl super confidently said
that they're all correctly checked.
The class teacher didn't believe him at all. He took a look at it and was amazed. Holy crap, he got it all right. And that's not all. Daryl also said, "Teacher, you made a mistake in question 8. The decimal point is wrong. This problem should be solved by calculus."
But only a calculus system could show that.
The class teacher was speechless. A million alpacas were crashing in his head. He is just an elementary school math teacher. The calculus Daryl is talking about is something we learn in college. The class teacher certainly did not know how to do it. The class teacher sighed, turned around and left. Daryl sat in the second row from the bottom. Could he see the blackboard with his eyes? So he went to get his eyesight tested. The school nurse asked Daryl to look at the eyesight chart, and Daryl took one look at it, and he started reciting the letters.
EFPTOZ.
He got to the 11th line. He recited the smallest letters without missing a beat. This vision, this memory, is truly unbeatable. The school doctor was shocked. Have you ever seen a gaming prodigy? Daryl went to Turtle's house to play a game. Turtle told him he is best at racing games. Racing cars have to dodge other cars, including buildings. Otherwise, it will just crash. Turtle has been playing for 3 years and reached 45,100 points. Absolutely no one could break his record. Daryl went up to try. He got the gamepad. 3, 2, 1, go. Daryl's car starts to run. Incredible straight line acceleration, turning and drifting, constantly overtaking. Even passed through the middle of 2 cars. Turtle and his sister were amazed. Oh my god, that's awesome. And Daryl kept accelerating the whole time. He'd lose if he pressed the brakes. Daryl was focused on the screen. As the game went on, he got faster and faster. It's not something you can react to. Daryl kept overtaking cars and racing. Finally, he passed the game. He took first place and broke the record, achieving a high score of 79,950 points. Now his friends were convinced he was the best. Back home, Dad taught Daryl how to play baseball for the first time. The first time he played, he hit a straight home run. Dad thought he was just lucky. And then the second time, another home run. The third time, he smashed the glass at the far end. Dad was very excited and said,
"You're a genius."
"You'll definitely help the town's baseball team get a good score." The next day was the town's baseball game. They played the next town. The next town laughed at them. "You haven't beaten us in 3 years." Dad told Daryl, "Keep your head up and take it easy." Daryl takes the field with a relaxed look on his face, while Dad was chewing his fingers nervously. The boy is a baseball prodigy. As the other player throws the ball, Daryl quickly and accurately swung the bat smoothly. Hearing that swoosh sound, the baseball made a perfect arc in the air. It went straight to the field. Great, a home run. The crowd is very excited. Daryl scored 3 runs at once. The second one, the opponent uses his best fork ball. Here comes the ball, and Daryl, another swing of the bat. With the crowd and the opponent's eyes watching, Daryl hit a home run again. The audience's mouths were stunned wide open. They were clapping and shouting. The opposing coach was so angry that he took off his green hat. The next few balls, as long as Daryl was up to bat, it was a home run every time. 3 runs, 3 runs, another 3 runs. That's how good Daryl was. The town was going crazy with joy, but his mother, looks like she's forcing a smile. Daryl went to ask his best friend, "Why isn't my mom happy?" Turtle told him, "You need to make some mistakes, so that parents can show their value." So that's how it is. This time after Daryl came on the field, the first time, the second time, the third time, he intentionally missed the ball. He struck out. After the game, although Dad was angry, his mom was laughing. She was grinning from ear to ear. "My son has finally made a mistake." She immediately went up to Daryl to comfort him. Daryl apologized in return. The relationship between the two improved. If you want to talk about why Daryl is so good, we have to talk about the mystery of his birth. Have you ever seen a wild and lost child? A couple was in the forest, and inadvertently found a boy, who was not sure about where he came from. He went to the hospital for an examination. The doctor said that he might have intermittent memory loss, but through the IQ test, they discovered the boy's IQ is over 200, which was so high it scared people. So the couple adopted the boy, and became his adoptive parents. When they arrived home, they realized that Daryl was a genius. His mother taught him how to play the piano, and he learned quickly. After teaching him a few notes, he could play them immediately. After 10 minutes, Daryl was an expert, and could complete a difficult piece. But Daryl is very self-sufficient. He cooks his own food, does his own laundry, he studies by himself and plays by himself. An 11-year-old child, that is so self-sufficient, makes his mom seem superfluous. So when he made a mistake at the baseball game, his mom was very happy. But then one day, there was an accident. Daryl's real parents came to the door. They took out a picture of Daryl as a kid, to prove their identity. Then it was time for Daryl to go home. Daryl and his parents took a private plane back. In the plane, Daryl learned to fly the plane. Daryl learned more than 100 buttons on the plane in 2 minutes, and even pointed out the captain's operating errors. He is amazing. After getting off the plane, he came to a military base. It turned out that the people who claimed to be Daryl's parents are 2 doctors, and Daryl is not human, nor is he a scion, but a super weapon. He is a highly intelligent robot. They discovered that Daryl had human feelings. He was deemed dangerous for human civilization. The leaders told the Dr. Stewart to get rid of Daryl. Dr. Stewart couldn't bear to do it. He drove away to try and escape with Daryl. Then they were chased by a group of cars. Daryl saw that the doctor's driving skills were not good, so he took over. Daryl used the skills he learned in the game. Straight line acceleration, drifting through the corner, even used force to stand up the car up to 60 degrees, with only 2 tires on the ground. He overtook his opponents. The people who saw it were stunned, and caused the car behind him to crash. The 2 of them were stopped by a roadblock on the road. In order to keep Daryl from being destroyed, Dr. Stewart went straight through, but unfortunately, was hit by a bullet. Just before he was about to die, Dr. Stewart told Daryl, "Remember,
you are a real person."
Daryl cried out and sent the doctor away, and made his own plans. Have you ever seen a kid fly a fighter jet? Daryl tumbled into the military base. He found a random computer with internet access, and hacked the mainframe of the military base, ringing the fire alarm. All the members of the military base were mobilized. Daryl slipped into a fighter jet in the confusion. In front of everyone's eyes, he entered the runway with a fighter jet worth $100 million, and then quickly takes off, leisurely chewing gum in his mouth. The military base was baffled. Is this the work of an 11-year-old? The secret weapon must not be allowed to escape. The base decided to detonate the bomb in the fighter jet. Daryl told his best friend Turtle where he was going to land. He used gum to block the surveillance. The base was going to bomb him. Daryl knew all along. In the last 5 seconds of the plane's explosion, he ejected. The plane exploded instantly. Everyone at the base thought Daryl was dead, but Daryl managed to land in the lake. Turtle came in time. He picked up Daryl from the lake. Finally, Daryl managed to return to his adoptive parents. They all lived happily together. That's the end of the film. This film is called DARYL. This issue's question: do you think Daryl is great? If you think he is great, comment 111. If you don't think so, comment 222. K thinks the boy is a military research product and an artificial intelligence super weapon. So why would they want to destroy him? Just like ChatGPT. which is very popular now. AI may be a major trend in the future. Robots can have human emotions too, as long as we treat each other sincerely, and set strict rules for the robots to follow in their programs, such as 1. Do not harm humans, except the bad ones. 2. Humanity and the Earth cannot be destroyed. 3. To develop together with humans in peace. This way I think is safer. The film is really good. We recommend you guys watch the original film. Remember to like the video, as well as follow and subscribe to K. We will see you next time. Bye.